About myself, I have been working with Palo Alto for the past 5 years, quite some time now with the same product. I have done my CCNA and PCNSC. Worked on Next-Gen Firewall. I've worked on Panorama and part of Prisma Access as well. And I'm happy to share the knowledge I've gained so far. And I hope it'll be fruitful for you guys and for me too, as I'm learning too every day. So this will pretty much be an introductory to Palo Alto Network. My goal here is not just to explain or to train you to configure, but to understand each and every functionalities that would be discussing. So please feel free to stop me wherever you want. If you're not understanding, just make sure you can text me on the chat and I'll stop, I'll repeat, no problem. And okay, so starting off with Palo Alto Networks, why do you think the PA is different compared to any other traditional firewalls? So I see there are a lot of engineers here have a different background, starting from freshers to experienced IT professionals as well. So being in a network background, you must be knowing Palo Alto is one of the product that stands top in the market today. So as of 2024, this has been valued as 100 million 100 plus billion revenue company. So what is this hype about Palo Alto, or what is this fuss about Palo Alto networks is because of one term that we see here, which is next-gen firewall. So we are going to highlight the importance of next-gen firewalls as it's first day for you guys. Not going to put much technical. We're going to start with um, introduction to Palo Alto. We're going to see the future of Palo Alto as we have freshers as well. There will be a guidance on career guidance opportunities. We'll also discuss on the architecture of Palo Alto networks and certifications and best practices. And by the end of the session, I'll open the platform for any questions. So make sure you note it down as well. So let's go ahead with a little bit of history. So you guys know Neerzuk, right?
राहुल पेन है क्या? बंधा हुआ है यहाँ पे। अबे निकाल के।
Hey, Mohammed, I guess your mic is okay. Okay, thank you. All right, starting with traditional firewall versus next-gen firewall. Okay, so I was talking about this guy Neerzuk. So as of now, he's the founder of Palo Alto, but he was formerly an checkpoint engineer, and he switched to Juniper as well. So at that time, when he was an engineer, he grew an enormous frustration over the limitation with the legacy firewall. Because legacy firewall, it works up to layer 3 and layer 4. So all the legacy firewall will block the traffic according to IP, if not port number, and not more than that. So if there is any traffic like or an applications like YouTube or Gmail, you would not much have a difference on what you're accessing to your because both are working on port 443, if not port 80, right? So you would not know which application a user is accessing. It's just a simple security parameter. So this person grew up first frustration because the although it's blocking the traffic with respect to layer 3 or layer 4, the attackers or the apps were already uh, bypassing the security by either port scanning or tunnel over port 443 or 80. Then he was like, okay, dude, I'm done here. This is way too outdated. I can't handle modern threats. So he came up with the concept of Palo Alto networks in the year 2005. So he did not want to make an advance, he, he, he wanted to make an advancement not just with L3 and L4, but he wanted to extend up to layer 7 inspection. So in 2007, he introduced the first ever PA hardware, which was PA 4000 series. Excuse me, sorry, just had my dinner. I hope you guys had too. So PA 4000 with so many other features like app identification. With all the signature matching, he came up with app ID engine. So this will help you to understand whether you're accessing YouTube or Gmail or any other application for that matter. He came up with user ID. With IP address, obviously, it would be really difficult to know who's accessing because that's a whole lot of list with enormous number of users in an organization. He came up with user ID, with which he understood who is accessing what. And he came up with content ID. He came up with content ID. He came up with VPN, which is basically your IPsec and Global Protect that is introduced with Palo Alto. And there is SSL TLS inspection. We have threat inspection. We have all the layer 7 inspection, whether it's antivirus or malware. We've also introduced URL filtering. This specifically controls the browsing activities, stop any phishing or malware activities. You have sandboxing, you have wildfire analysis, and there's so many other features that has been introduced and it is being introduced in the future as well. With the recent In the recent years, there was AI integration with Palo Alto Firewall. So all these security is way ahead of any other competitors. So apart from all these features, I would say there is another thing, which is platform independent. So in short, okay, I have this habit of relating the technical terms to real life examples. Like, so initially, when I joined as an engineer, it was really hard for me to understand such topic. I would start relating to real life examples. Say, for example, you have a car that's entering into a three-star hotel, like a security guard just checks the number plates, right? And he just lets you in. Whereas in a five-star or a seven-star hotel, just think about a car entering and what and all the guard would be checking into. He would check the number plates, he would check the driver ID, he would check what's inside the car. He'll just ask you to open the back of the car just so that you do not carry any hidden weapons. Just related to malware or attacks in technical terms, that would be pretty easy. So these features are way ahead of many competitors with all the AI integration. So when I mentioned they have strong integrated platform, instead of selling just firewalls, Palo Alto built a platform approach. So platform approach in the sense when you take an organization, for example, let's say healthcare, they would have an end-to-end security. They'll have routers, switches, they have firewalls, they have cloud integration, then so many other. So Palo Alto has not just built a firewall and selling just one piece, but they have an end-to-end security in the for what an infrastructure requires. It's not just a patchwork solution, which is what I was amazed in the beginning as well. So they have hardware for on-premise, they have virtual machines, they have cloud firewalls, and they also have SOC tools, which is your Cortex data lake. If there is an integration of AWS or Google platform or Oracle, we have Prisma Cloud as well. For any DevOps related security, we have Prisma Cloud, which can be integrated. And this is a rough diagram on the platform. Have security platform, they have security operation, which is Cortex, which can store all your logs and go for all the layer 7 inspection, which again is inbuilt in next gen firewall, but still we do have an integrated platform. And we also have the Cortex, which is your Prisma Cloud. So I have given a list of Palo Alto hardware starting from PA4000. This was initially introduced in the year 2007. Um, I think it's no more used, very old and outdated. We have so many advancement. Sorry again. So the top model as of now is PA 7500. With respect to the network infrastructure and their requirement, customer do go on or performance based or throughput based, they do select their hardware premise. But they do also have VM, virtual machine, starting from VM 50 to all right. So this is just an overview on the models we have. You do not have to by heart all this, but just an giving you a rough idea of all the designs. So the main part here we're going to discuss here is the SP3 architecture of Palo Alto networks. This diagram which you're looking at is the core design of Palo Alto Firewall. Okay, so we have two functions, which is single pass and parallel processing hardware. Uh, let's take a scenario. So all these features we have discussed in the previous slide, like app ID, there's user ID, there's VPN SSL, there's URL filtering, and layer 7 inspection. All these feature, let me say, all these performed in different engines one by one. Let's say legacy firewall as an example. What is that going to do? It is going to scan the traffic for the firewall rules, allow or block, and then go for antivirus. It goes after that, it goes for IPS detection, and then followed by all other features that you have turned it on the firewall. So what happens in this case? Imagine the amount of time it's going to consume to process just single packet. There is going to be a huge delay when it comes to the legacy firewall. So instead of making the traffic go through each and every engine one by one, let's say there is one hardware which performs my traffic goes through multiple engines at the same time, one after the other. But Palo Alto process traffics in a single pass function, but apply many security function at the same time. Two components, which is single pass. Let me just erase this and give you a clear. Okay. Mm, oh. Single pass, I would say traffic is decoded once. Once session is created, session is created, all the security features that I have enabled, like app ID, like or the content engine, has a dedicated engine, but everything happens at the same time. This is what happens. So instead of going through multiple engines, it goes all to the it performs parallelly at the same time. So at the end of the day, it saves the CPU. So there would be no repeated scannings. So all the actions are being done at once. So in this particular hardware, there are certain processors, like there are network processors, there is security processor, there is management plane, which is dedicated to all the admin related activities. And do we have any other? The signature matching engine, which is otherwise called content engine in the Palo Alto's language, content matching engine. So what these processor does? So network processor handles all the um, routing decisions like networking, there's routing, there's VPN. So all the decision making activities will be handled by network processor, and there is security processor like all the L7 inspection, including the app ID, all the threat ID, or SSL or decryption. All these activities will be handled by the security processor. Whereas content engine, it runs the IPS. Um, if there's any new application in the environment, it match. Can you explain in terms of packet arousal in ingress way? What happens is annual. Okay, okay, so I'm just going to give you a glance on SP3 overall architecture, but how the packet will be processed on the data plane will be discussed later on. Also, all right, then there is management plane, which is separate CPU again. For all the management related activities like admin, there's configuration that a user will be performing. All the updates like panos updates or threat updates, signature updates will be handled by management CPU. So this could be a messy. So all these processor is evenly termed as management plane and data plane. So Palo Alto hardware is mainly divided into two, which is data, sorry, okay, which is data plane and management plane or control plane. So management plane handles all the admin related works as we discussed, and all the configuration software content updates, whereas the control plane takes otherwise called the network processor will also handle the decision making like routing protocols, HA synchronization. Again, those terms will be discussed from next week, which is one of the features of Palo Alto. And all the session setup will be handled by control plane, whereas data plane will handle all the packet processing. Like as we discuss all the features like app ID, content ID, user ID, all done in single pass architecture. So this means while one processor is handling routing, the other will be scanning the thread. So as one is handling the commit related activities, the other will be processing the traffic or decrypting the traffic and exiting the firewall. So why SP3 matters at the end of the day is um, it has a unified engine, unified policy engines. There's no conflicting with multiple scans. So everything is done all at once. So that is one advantage. Second is as it handles one at a time, it can handle heavy traffic. Um, I'm sorry for the noise. So it can handle heavy traffic. All right. And it also gives a high throughput. Is what so at the end of the day, what you get is speed plus throughput, which is again way beyond advanced compared to legacy firewall. So simple analogy again, relating to real-time environment, imagine if you're boarding a flight. Let's say a passenger is boarding a flight, has to go through separate lines, one for passport, one for dropping the baggage, another for body scan. It's quite slow and repetitive process, for a domestic flight. It's okay to accept for an international, but for domestic, it's way too longer. You have to be 1 hour before. So imagine a system that has like a unified checkpoint. When the passenger goes through one area, he just scans the passport, baggage all at once. That's humanly not possible, but I wish we had that kind of system which can help you for your check-in process. And that is all about SP3 architecture. So far we have discussed on the hardware. So when it comes to VM, this hold on. How is this SP3 architecture is going to work? There's no physical separation between your management plane or data plane or control plane. How do you think firewall will help you work in this SP3 scenario? We do have the firewall will logically splits the CPU cores. Let's say one CPU for management plane or data plane, sorry, control plane, and rest of them for the data plane. Let's say I have VM series 500 with four. Okay. Four CPU. So how the firewall will allocate is it will virtually allocate one vCPU to management plane and three vCPUs to data plane. So this is how it works with virtual machines. The concept would be the same. It's just the allocation difference with the hardware versus the software. So even though we have three virtual CPUs, this will be divided into three cores, which is DP0, DP1, and DP2. So when there is a load in the firewall, like high amount of traffic is coming into the firewall, the traffic would be divided into three cores. So the first packet will go to DP0, second packet will go to DP1, third packet will go to. This will help you to balance the load in the data plane. So any questions so far with the architecture? Yes, no, maybe. Or is it a boring session? Am I making you guys sleep? How, I'm actually going too slow because I have to cover all the kind of engineers here. So bear with me. I was once a slow learner, so I would go little so that everyone grasps what I discuss. So let's discuss on okay, let's discuss on who should enroll the Palo Alto course or the certification. I know most of here would be a students or freshers in IT. Um, if you are looking to start a career in cybersecurity or networking, CCNA, I believe, would be the first prerequisite, and followed by any firewall and concepts in the early stage would give you an edge in the interviews. So entry path into SOC or TAC. I started off as an TAC engineer for Palo Alto, and it's it's a it's a game changer, I would say, as because when you start to troubleshoot, you just not understand the concept. You will also start to understand how you configure, how you like where things can go wrong or point out where the issue is. As a tech, I've experienced a lot of, and I'm still learning as well. So entry path into SOC also would be easier. And there are engineers already already working with Cisco or Juniper or any Fortinet devices who needs to upgrade skills to next gen firewall. I believe Palo Alto would be a good option to land into any security domain. So security analysis, like who's working as a SOC or a network operation engineer. So this mainly covers who works mainly on monitoring traffic, threats, or incidents. This will help you in log analysis. So in Palo Alto, all the troubleshooting happens with the help of logs, obviously, and policy tuning. PA would be a better solution for threat hunting or any incident response, I would say. Uh, System engineers, there would be engineers in any organization who would be managing the servers or endpoints, any network related activities. So PA skills will make you a multi-skilled engineer for the role. And cloud engineers, I would say there is an increasing demand for Prisma Access, which is your cloud integration. And there is Prisma Cloud as well, as an integration to AWS or any public cloud environment like AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle. So this bridges the gap between any DevOps, anyone who's in the development cycle. So DevOps advantage is one thing. And give me a second. Real-time tag as per device. Which kind of issues there are, how to troubleshoot, just to give an overview here. Okay. Troubleshooting would be a separate 1 hour, a probably 2 hour session for each and every topic. So to give an overview, let me just complete this. Working professional, so mm, 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 mm. Have you seen engineers who would like to shift their IT roles in their environment, like who would want to go from this domain to another domain? So having an PCNSC or PCNSA certification would be a plus. This is a globally recognized certification. As of now, this has been expired, but let's deep dive into. So as a TAC, so there was a question like, as a TAC, what kind of tickets you would be getting? So once you understand Palo Alto Firewall, I think it would be much easier. So the first, um, okay, let me divide into 3 segments. There would be cases where real-time traffic issues would be there. Like, let's say, for example, we have an IPsec tunnel and that would go down for some reason, and there would be a major disruptive in the traffic, and the customer would raise a TAC request to assist in understanding why the tunnel went down. Even though we bring up the tunnel, there will be a next question: why did it go down? You have to provide the root cause analysis, which how do you get it? Root cause analysis. You will have to understand, uh, obviously through the logs. But how do you analyze the logs? Is what the question was. So you will have to start with the time of the issue. Time of the issue, when the issue had occurred, because there will be a million details in the logs. Where will you go and search? So when the tunnel went down, the time of the issue is something very, very important. I would not stress enough how important the time of the issue is. I do tell every engineers, always make sure you note the time of the issue, when it went down, and why it went down. Did you make any changes? Or was it a new configuration, or was it an existing configuration you made some changes into? So so as a tag, there would be a million questions that you would be asking to point out where the issue is. So why did this happen? Any changes? No, it was already running and all it fell some dis hold on. There's again a question here. That's correct. If if there is an existing configuration, well, then you will focus more on the logs. You will take a packet capture and see where the traffic went down. But if it's a new traffic, I mean, new configuration, you will have to check right from the configuration. So that's right. That's an insight, but as in troubleshooting, I would say that you will have a separate session for it once all the configuration is done. We'll make sure how to troubleshoot through a web UI and how to troubleshoot through CLI. All the commands that you use for troubleshooting will be provided to you. So you make sure your troubleshooting approach would be good. So again, okay, career opportunities. So I did end up with PCNSE. Okay, the certification. There is open opportunities in India, and I would say there's open opportunity in Singapore, USA, and Europe as well. It's cybersecurity, I would say, is not limited to one role. Um, it's a skill that every IT professional would require. So the job you can aim for as a fresher or maybe as an experience, you can start off with SOC or TAC, if not firewall network security engineers who manages just the policies and traffic. There are certain roles like in certain companies, I would say. Um, or if you're more interested in threat hunting or log analysis, monitoring, incident response, then you can always go for TAC. As a cloud security engineer, Prisma Access, Prisma Cloud is also important, but as a prerequisite, Prisma Access is more of next-gen firewall concept. So having a next-gen firewall experience would help you with the Prisma Cloud. And what are all the roles you can think of with 5 to 7 years experience? You can go with security architect, which is one of the high-paying job in India. Who you can design the zero trust frameworks or for any enterprise. And there's also technical account manager, there's escalation engineer, and so on. You can also become a consultant who helps in customer with configuration, mostly the customer advisory roles. So these are one of the majors. These roles exist in every domain, in every industry, no matter it's IT or banking or let's say healthcare. Cybersecurity is universal, which means job mobility across sectors would and it's global as well. In India, especially, there's a huge demand in IT services, but when it comes to Singapore or United States, I do not have to explain. There's an advanced role in cloud security, SOC, or automation. So, with the certification, which is PCNSE or PCNSA, you have a global opportunity. That is what I would like to conclude. And s- uh, t- 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 I- Okay, on the salary growth as well, as a fresher, you can start off with 6 LPA up to 10. And as a mid or mid-level engineer, you can go up to 20 LPA, or as an architect, you can go up to 25 to 40 plus. And again, abroad, I would say it starts from 60K dollars, US dollars, to 100 and more than that. So, okay. Let's come to the certification path. So, PCNSA and PCNSE was one of the most recognized. Okay, was anyone talking? All right. It was the most recognized certifications until July 2025. So, right now, they are more concerned on the role-based. So they have upgraded certain certification, which I would be providing those information. So as a starting point, uh, from next week, we're going to discuss on how the Palo Alto process the packet and the data plane, a theoretical structure, and starting off with the firewall implementation with the initial configuration and so on. But other than that, as a best practice, apart from lab and theory, there are Palo Alto provided KB articles and guides, which is available in open platform, Google, which will be really helpful for you to troubleshoot or configuration and troubleshooting purpose. And as a tag, when I was in this, apart from all the guide I had, a Palo Alto live community or joining into Reddit, these kind of activities help me a lot, because there are certain scenarios which even the tech engineers did not encounter. The user would have mentioned that in the Palo Alto Live community. These are some things, a good practice, and to have a look at it regularly to understand the recent issues or the upcoming upgrades. So this is one of kind. And when it comes to certification, starting from next gen firewall to Cortex or Prisma Access or Prisma Cloud, you you have dedicated certification. So I was talking about the certification which is no more in use. So starting from March, they have upgraded certain certification which will be updated in this particular website, Palo Alto's education website, which will be provided to you as well. So yeah. Okay. I think I have reached. Okay, it's 9:45. I just discussed on opening the platform for any question for the last 15 minutes. Yeah, where's the platform? All right, yeah, this is the training and certification. You have a dedicated certification for each platform, either it's Next-Gen Firewall, Prisma Access, SD-WAN, or for Cortex. So these are all the certification in detail. With that link, you can, hold on. How to resolve tag tickets from your experience. I mean, customers keep getting few regular high CPU connectivity issues. Sure, sure, Vijay, that would be discussed. Um, like post configuration, all the initial configuration once you start working on the lab. So after completing each and every domain, I would make sure you understand not just to configure, but also to troubleshoot. Training PCNSE based weekdays or weekend. This session would pretty much be weekdays, because I don't think we have not discussed for weekend. Yeah. So Monday to Friday, it would be 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. You can also turn on the mic and come up, just post your questions. Hi, Jaya, network engineer who worked in NOC and joined SOC analyst. Yes. That is something I will have to look into. But yes, the answer is yes, Tejaswini. You can join into SOC with a good skill, I would say. And regarding the preparation, I will have to check on that. Let me just look into it and come up to you. I'll just make a note of it. Thank you for asking that question. All right. Course duration. Okay, so basically, for next gen firewall, it would take around 20 to 30 days, 20 days max. And as we are going to cover the panorama as well, it's going to extend, um, let's say, 1.5 month, I would say, a rough idea, because excluding the weekend. Yeah, it's going to be 1 to 1.5 months. Yeah. Is there any hurry, P? I think your full name is not written. This class is okay. Thank you. No hurry. Yes, you can. Yeah, even I have started with CCNA and then followed by Palo Alto, and that's the two major thing that I have. So yeah, you can. Uh, Regarding fees, I think the network team will come back to you.
That
If
I'll post on the email like what is the fee and all. So Jay, one more question like before jumping on cyber security, how much important to learn any firewall, either Palo Alto or Portnet or Checkpoint? Like it's mandatory to learn, or without the firewall, people can go for cyber security. How it is?
Okay, cybersecurity has millions of domains, I would say. But as a network security, which is a gateway to enter into cybersecurity. As a prerequisite, if you have a knowledge on firewall, it would be way more um, convenient for you to get into advanced level. Like there is penetrating testing, there's so many other field as well. If you google the domains in cybersecurity, you will get multiple of them. There's network security, there's uh, information security, and it goes on. So your requirement should be right, like which you are interested in. Based on that, if you start learning, then I would say that would be a good idea. From Saudi. Jonas, it's 1 hour, Monday to Friday, and we would be completing the course by around a month, um, 1 month or 1.5 month. It's panorama and can perform edits and comments. However,